Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm talking about what it means to be waist deep in the world. So, in this world you can push your limits to a certain extent. What I mean by that is you can go out in the world and do whatever you need to do, but sometimes you take on too much responsibility, and that responsibility, if you have too much of it, can make you, honestly, if you do too much at once, it can potentially make you a mad, angry person, and sometimes can fill you with hatred. But so, if that's the analogy, if you go too far into the ocean of life, you are going to be sucked into hatred. But if you stay back too far, you're not doing anything. You're on the sand and like, nope, not doing this. But there's this perfect point that everyone has called waist deep. And waist deep is different for everyone. I'll start off by saying that. Waist deep is different for everyone because everyone has a mental height in this analogy. Some people are able to push their limits farther than others, and they'll be waist deep still. Some people can't really push their limits too far. They can't do that much stuff because they aren't really be able to take care of responsibility very well, which is okay. You might have a shoulder mental height, but in this analogy, you can't go too far deep into the ocean. And the ocean also can. The ocean is a dangerous place in this analogy because you can be a good person no matter how well you can be. You can be a good person and still get sucked in. Because in the ocean, there are riptides and stuff like that. But it's insane of how, what's it called? It's insane how different people can be. Because some people, like my waist deep is like right here, but some people it's up here. Like it's different for all of us. But waist deep is a perfect. Honestly, I believe no one can get to perfect waist deep. Because waist deep is a thin line. So imagine in mental height in this analogy, you have legs and then a short body or something like that. I don't know. But it really does depend on how much responsibility you could take in. I've gone into the ocean too deep before. I have been not in a good place before in this ocean of life. Because in life, like I always said many times, you can go too far and take off too much responsibility. And I did that back when I was in 6th grade, and I was a very good person. But the good thing about this analogy is that you can make it back to shore. If you ever go too far deep in the ocean, you can come back. That's what I've been able to do. You can come back and become waist deep again. You come back and just be like, wow, that was crazy, but I got through it. And like I said in a different video, it takes a village to get past the demons, and that really applies to here too. If you go too far in the ocean, you might need some other people come and lift you up and bring you back to shore. And I don't really know what else to say. A lot of people in this world aren't waist deep, and we need to be able to support them and bring them back in. Grab them by the arm and pull them back into waist deep. Now this is harder for some people than others because, well, somebody might be way in front of you but still be waist deep. And that's okay. Not meaning you're a bad person, you're not trying too much. Like I said, your mental height is always more shallow, could always be more shallow than someone else. And it could be taller than someone else. Now, there is always going to be someone by your side if you get pulled into the ocean, get pulled in by a riptide, and that person is God. Because no matter how many people down here you have, it's not gonna be very good. It's gonna take longer if you don't have God with you. Now that's gonna sound really cheesy to non-Christians, and that's my point of view from it. Now some people would disagree with me on that, but like I said in the first video I made, I want to be talking about some deep stuff, and some people aren't going to agree with me with it, but that's just the way it is sometimes. So, if you can get sucked into the ocean, get pulled back up, either by your family and your friends, or by God, and it really, if you're an atheist or you're not a Christian, I truly believe you can still get pulled back up from waist deep. It's crazy how sometimes people are pulled in so far in the ocean, but you're able to be pulled back in. I know that from experience, because I was pulled way deeper than I could be. And I've been like that, and it really stinks, I'll say that. It really stinks because it takes time to be pulled back in. Also, another thing you need to realize to be pulled back in is that a big part of it is realizing that you're not waist deep. Waist deep means, well, let me see here. So, waist deep is always something new. Sometimes you grow high, and waist deep is higher for you, so you try more stuff. Sometimes waist deep is really short, and sometimes you shrink. Now, that's not really accurate in real life, that you can shrink, but it's true. I really want people to realize waist deep is not something you can just do. Waist deep takes time to get there. So, when you're trying to take on too much responsibility, you might need to cancel some things, and sometimes that hurts. But it's all worth it in the end, because you can't be waist deep and not come reel in. And sometimes you need to grab that fisherman's line and just get pulled back in. But sometimes you need to get to the bottom, start walking. Just keep going forward. I mean, keep on going backwards if you pulled in too deep. I will have another video out about this, of a different type of ocean, the ocean of fear, because it applies there too, but I'll talk about that next time. So, just keep in mind, no one is perfectly waist deep. No one can be, because it's so thin of a line. It's so thin, but I believe if you're a little shallower than you need to be, it's always good to be a little shallower than waist deep. Because if you get to waist deep, then you start to grow, and the water starts to come up. Well, I feel like all of us have been sucked into the ocean because of everything going on in this world. And I just want people to realize that. I want people to be able to realize that and come back in. And I truly believe that everyone can do that. Now, some people are not as good at doing that. Some people have been under the water all their life. Some people have been up and down like me. Well, I just want to say that's my video for today. See you later.